Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to the Driving Home Reviews podcast. This is a podcast that features mine and my girlfriend Hannah's unfiltered, spoiler-filled thoughts about films we've just seen on the drive home. Just a heads up, there's a lot of strong language, full spoilers, obviously, and a lot of comments about what we see on the road, so we hope you enjoy. Also, I'll be back at the end to wrap it all up. So, this episode is a little bit different as we didn't actually drive home for this one, we just sat at home and watched Fear Street in 1994. So, Fear Street 1994 is a Netflix horror film which is based on the books from R.L. Stein, who I'm pretty sure did Goosebumps, but I might be wrong, but don't come at me, because I don't care. Anyway, we thought, why not? Might as well record an episode. So, here it is. Enjoy!
Probably. What do you think, love?
I think I'm full. My goodness.
Yeah, same.
What was that supposed to be?
How do you mean?
Like, was it supposed to be obviously copying like other
I think so.
horrors?
Yeah. I think it's...
Like quite
I mean,
blatantly.
Yeah, Scream, because it's based on a book series, isn't it, by the guy, I think he did Goosebumps.
I don't know. I didn't know what it was based on, to be fair.
But, yeah, and I think he wrote the books inspired by, your classics.
Yeah.
Your horror boys. Because that was pretty much what it was, wasn't it?
And like the bit with when they were babysitting and she was like, oh, I'm over the street, and then she was like flicking the light on and off, and doesn't she do that in Halloween?
Yes.
And she like flicks the light on and off when she's babysitting.
And even like, the beginning bit where it's basically Scream, but in a bookshop, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it must be. I feel like it's a bit, like Freaky. Because Freaky, it was very... Because, he was like Michael Myers. He was like Slash. Yeah, well, I mean, there was that point where he literally had like chainsaws and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's that sort of like...
But that was more like the general sense of a slasher, whereas I felt like that was imitating like actual scenes from...
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the point.
Kind of thing.
That's
what I was asking. Like,
yeah,
was it
because 94, isn't it? The 90s were like peak Freddy Krueger, Jason, what's his name? Ghostface. That was the point where everything went into the I'm pretty sure that's where all the bulk of the Halloween sequels came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did. Yeah, it's definitely inspired by all that sort of shit, isn't it?
Definitely inspired.
If not a little bit copyright-esque.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess it was one of those things where it was done in not jest, but like, when it's like in honour of, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like riffing on, because it's not like making fun of it, but it kind of is, but...
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, because that beginning bit was so like Scream that you wouldn't believe, wouldn't it? To the point, when it was like the phone calls. And I mean, even the guy who was Skullface instead of Ghostface.
No, yeah, it was Skull Mask.
Yeah, like good one. But yeah, I think it was meant to be that sort of like, I think like what we were sort of saying with Freaky, where it was like Freaky was trying to revitalize the slasher because it's not. But but not like revitalize it in the same sort of sense as like the Conjuring films, where it was like bringing back supernatural that way. It was like it was like trying to revitalize the cheesy ones. It felt like it wasn't trying to like emulate like the 80s slashers. It was obviously it was trying to emulate the 90s ones, where it was like where they were a bit more self-aware. And they knew about stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were aware of the tropes and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But obviously not like Scream because they didn't... they weren't aware of the tropes. Like, all the stuff, I was like, cliche. And then it was like, you're just doing this shit. You don't give a fuck, yeah.
Mm.
But then and then when it devolved into like the witch shit, I was like,
yeah, what? I think that's why I preferred Freaky to that.
Did you?
Yeah, I think because Freaky was different. Like it was tropes and cliches, but in a different way. Whereas, like we've already said, that felt like a copy of something that we've already seen so many times. And I'm like, just because you've then made it about a witch, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if because it's really obviously a trilogy of films, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think I wasn't really a fan. Well, because like as soon as the credits started rolling, and I said to you, didn't I? I was like, "Well, it's a fucking witch, isn't it?" I was like, "There's a witch in it somehow."
Yeah.
And then 2 scenes later, he was like, "There's a witch," and I was like, "But we know we know this witch is involved somehow."
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just. I kind of wish they hadn't have done that from the start.
I think they were trying to make it like, maybe trying to include a more supernatural, like, oh yeah, like we can do like supernatural as well as slasher, and it's like, well, you didn't need to do that because now it's a bit too much.
Yeah, it's too sequel bait. Even though obviously I know they've written it as like, I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the best.
Like there wasn't any point where I was like, oh, turn this off.
No.
Like I was happy to sit and watch it.
Yeah, I was enjoying it for the ride, but I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of know where this is going up until the point in the grocery store, and I was like, holy shit. But yeah, because what I think what bothered me straight from the start was, my God, they wanted to fucking hammer home that it was the 90s, didn't they? Good God, when they had fucking... When she woke up and she had her shoebox covered in stickers, I was like, oh my God, edgy.
Uh-huh.
The mixtape with like the fucking... with the cut out letters on, like she's a fucking serial killer or something.
Played on the...
On the stereo, on the Walkman, sorry. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, it's definitely the 90s. And then it was like, you better believe it's the fucking 90s when she goes into like, I didn't really get. I mean, obviously, we were only alive for the latter half of the 90s.
Pardon me.
But I don't really think that a computer nerd would be listening to Guns N' Roses and Beastie Boys.
No.
And Iron Maiden.
You never know.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You never know.
I also don't believe that chat rooms were as quick as they were back then.
No. Definitely not in 94.
No.
Like
99, maybe.
Yeah.
If American Pie's taught me anything, where chat rooms are still quite slow.
Yeah, like, no.
But,
you would not be getting a response that quick. Yeah, your messages would not be sending that quick.
I like the beginning bit, even though we said obviously it's a riff off of Scream. I liked how what is it about fucking is it Maya Hawke? Why does she keep getting killed and everything? It's like the end of fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because does she? Oh no, she doesn't get killed, does she? Because she's one of the hippies in the car.
Is she?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure because there's one of them who walks away. You know, they like get out the car before they go to Brad Pitt's DiCaprio's house.
Oh yeah.
I think there's one of them who walks away, and I think it's her. So there goes my null and void point. Okay. Because I thought she was the one who got her head smashed in on the fucking fireplace.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, she just can't catch a break, can she?
Can't catch a break. Well, she catches a break.
But yeah, she's all right. She's all right at Stranger Things, isn't she? She survives.
She does.
But what I was going to say, because obviously, because she's Uma Thurman's daughter, and you know when she gets stabbed in the chest.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a callback to Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, but obviously, like reverse, because obviously they stab her to like bring her back in Pulp Fiction, but in that they like. Cool, they didn't hold back, did they?
They didn't.
I was a bit like, oof, he really slammed down on that chest.
Yeah. Again, another very violent, bloody. What was that? 15? An 18?
No, that was an
That was
18.
an 18,
Yeah.
wasn't
I
it?
was
Yeah.
very surprised by that being an
That
18.
was.
What else has we watched lately that was an 18?
What was it? Can't remember.
It wasn't Freaky. It wasn't in the house. Wasn't it something on Netflix that we watched?
I don't know. Spiral. Spiral's an 18.
Spiral wasn't it? No, there was something else, and we were both quite shocked by it.
What, by it being an 18?
Yeah, because we were like, it's going to take a lot. Maybe it was Spiral actually, because it was that finger popping scene, wasn't it? Where he pulled his fingers off.
Not be surprised that that other one was a 15. Oh,
I can't remember.
I think it was Spiral though. I think it was Spiral.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they weren't shining away. My biggest beef was I really didn't like the main girl. What was her name?
Dina.
I don't know if it's because that first interaction that she has with Sam. You know, in the like baseball game.
At the game, yeah.
No, the vigil, wasn't it? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
And she's a bit of a red flag, isn't she?
Yeah.
She was like, "Fuck you, I hate you, bitch." And then it was like, and then you find out that Dina broke up with Sam.
She broke up with her
because her parents got a divorce and she left.
Yeah.
And then later on, the film sounds like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." I was like, "Have you been gaslit?
Yeah.
Like what?"
Yeah, she didn't do
like,
anything
have you?
wrong.
Like, oh, sorry, you moved to a different town.
Because your
parents got divorced.
Yeah.
And then you found it a bit difficult.
And the way
and then your girlfriend broke up with you because of that. Like, what?
That's definitely gaslighting.
Yeah, I was like...
She was being well difficult as well. Like, oh, you live 30 minutes away, you might as well be...
bitch, you drive,
like,
and your dad's never home.
30
they don't give a fuck.
30 minutes is nothing, okay?
No, not at all. Also, judging from the map in the fucking intro credits, it was not 30 minutes. Get out of town.
Sunnyvale and Shadyside.
I couldn't figure that out.
Stop with that.
Because it felt like they were the same town from the credits. Because there was that bit where it was like Sunnyside and... no, wait. Sunnyvale and Shadyside.
Shadyside.
And it looked like there was a point where they just merged together. So I thought, are you the same town or what? I don't know if you noticed this. Sorry, I just cut you off there.
That's all right. I was just going to say, I think there was something in the middle.
Like
a river. It was like a mountain.
Probably. Oh, yeah.
And
maybe
that
that was
around
it. Yeah.
and, you know, that's the sunny side and then that's the shady
Oh, that
side.
makes sense. Yeah, because it's in the shade. Oh, very good. My fucking car.
Rowdy.
It's fucking so loud. I don't know if you noticed this, or I don't know if it was just me, but you know the Sunnyvale students of that vigil thing?
Yeah.
I swear they were all white.
Yeah.
And then the shady side were like people of colour, and I was like, is that a dig? Is that some?
Yeah, is that some?
Not a dig. Yeah, maybe it's meant to be like, because obviously Sam's parents were fucking like, they were like, "Don't you dare be a lesbian, you bitch."
Yeah.
At the end, and then just fucking absolutely livid when she's like, "Ooh, bye, babe." It was a big smoochy smooch, and I was like, "Ooh, got him." And then they sort of, yeah. I'm just trying to remember. So you know, after they leave the little fight at the vigil, which is the strangest thing that you'd ever do. Why would you ever, other than obviously cause plot, why would you ever get two rival schools to hold a vigil for students
from
another school, from another town, at the same town or whatever?
Yeah,
like,
it makes no sense.
Why? Like, dumb.
Yeah, because they.
And
were
also,
all from...
why would you go from one town where they all got killed to the other town to have the vigil? It made no sense.
Yeah. Surely you'd have the vigil in your town where it happened, and then if
at
those
your
guys
school,
want to come along, then fine.
That's up to them, but...
Yeah. Why you went... Oh, yeah.
It makes no sense. But what I was going to say was, you know when on the bus and she throws the bucket of, like, juice?
Mm-hmm.
Why did she get a nosebleed?
I don't know.
Do we think that maybe this is one of those other things that they're just going to maybe explain, but probably won't?
Yeah.
Because Because I thought that was it. Because I was like, maybe sunny shade people, they get angry and they lose their fucking temper or whatever, and they go fucking acca.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both get her and Sam both get nosebleeds when they're being weird as fuck.
I didn't know if it was gonna be Dina was gonna end up being the possessed witchy lady.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna have something.
Because they were going near it, and I don't know, like
they both got angry with it.
Yeah,
that was a bit weird.
I don't really know. It was very selective.
There was no need for the I'm bleeding. I got a nosebleed. Oh, I'm gonna drop this by accident. I was like, bitch, you're gonna drop it anyway.
You were gonna drop it anyway, exactly. So it was a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like a weird way of trying to like connect the two and like
maybe throw you off a bit and think, oh, it's not Sam, it's her.
Yeah,
it's probably just that.
So yeah, reflecting on it, it was just confusing.
Yeah. Also,
and, like,
what are the fucking What are the chances of crashing right next to some old witch bones in the middle of the wood? I also they were probably. Maybe that was it. She was trying to pull them in.
Yeah.
She was like, "Ooh, I'm a witch," or whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm trying to pull you in. I love that.
I'm just trying to remember what happened after. Oh yeah, and then
she was supposedly as well supposed to have died.
Who, the witch?
Yeah, ages ago.
1666, of course.
Yeah, 60. Oh yeah, that was it. And her bones were just.
Her
bones were just under some leaves.
Yeah, but then at the end you saw that witch
thing
in the fucking cave or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe it's.
But in 400 years, I feel like there would be.
Oh no! I was gonna say maybe
debris.
Well, yeah, but maybe the fucking weird coven or whatever are just chucking their bones about for shits and gigs. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's the only thing I could think.
Because they were her bones.
Yeah, that's the only slight reasoning I could have for it. That maybe they like keep putting it there to get more victims. You know?
Yeah, maybe
something like that. Because they said at the end, didn't they? Or in the trailer for the next. Was it a trailer for the next one, or when she was on the phone and she was like, "You touched the bones, didn't you, you idiot?" Yeah. And then she was like, maybe.
I didn't.
Well, she's about the only person alive who nearly handled them, because the other two are fucking dead as dodos, aren't they?
Oh yeah, she did touch the bones, didn't she, when they wrapped them up?
That police chief's a bit of a dick.
You're such a dick. I was like, don't like this guy.
He's a bit of a dick, but he's not a massive dick. It was just like, he was like, oh, okay, I don't really believe you. And then he was like, maybe I'll go do some police work. And then he does his police work, and then he sent that letter, didn't he? And he was like, it's happening again.
Yeah.
Rot roll. And then it was like, what? So I bet he was a kid in the fucking next one. And
gotcha. 100%. It's going to be like fucking it.
Yeah,
where it comes
27 years later. Wait, is it 27 years? So what was that? 78 to 95. That's 26. Is that right?
98
would be
78 to 94.
2 plus 20 plus 26.
26.
No.
Close enough.
Yeah, I bet he would have got sued if he'd done 27 years, because he'd have been like, "It, how dare you!"
But again,
and then what happened? I can't remember what happened after that. Oh yeah, after they crashed the car, and then they were like, "Oh, fuck you, Pete, you freak, coming into the house." It was quite interesting, because that was the bit when I was like, "Okay, there is something going on then."
Yeah.
And I was like, but what?
Because for quite a while I was just like, this is like...
Yeah, just kill him.
Where's the horror?
Yeah.
You know, where's the spooks? Where's the killer? Where's the deaths? Like, I hate that when you have like a big death at the beginning and then it's ages before anything else happens.
It was a while.
It was. It felt just like there's some kind of bloody melodrama teenage.
I remember thinking. I remember
angsty film. I was like, come on.
Because I think it was when we paused it to go get the snacks, and it was like 45 minutes in.
Yeah, that was it.
And nothing had really happened.
Nothing had happened.
But then I'm pretty sure when you came back and.
I think that's.
I think that was in the hospital, wasn't it? And
then
like her boyfriend Pete got fucking shanked.
Yeah.
Do you know what annoyed me about Skullface? Like the length of his blade. Because at the beginning he had the pissiest little like shank, and quite often you saw him with this little shank, and then Pete, and if Pete was like a bit of paper.
Yeah, like why?
How did it go all the way through him?
To
Like
poke
what?
through to the front.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, cool, whatever. Okay, bruh. Yeah, and then what was the deal with that weird nurse dude?
I don't know if they were like a.
But I bet that was a character from the books, and they were like, oh yeah, well, this will be like your Easter egg. This will be like, you know, like Iron Man 1 when it was like, Shield and like the whole, you know what I mean? Those like early MCU films where it was like, oh, we're gonna throw a little.
Yeah.
Or he'll be in the fucking 77 one, the next one, probably.
Betty. Because when they said like, oh yeah, we want to talk to Betty, and then the nurse that was at the desk was like,
I was like, who's that?
Yeah,
I thought it was like a manager or something.
Is that like a code name for something else?
Yeah.
But then when he walked out, oh mate, got shanked hard.
Did he got it
in the head?
Yeah, in the bottom of the jaw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got pretty. Pretty
Those
gnarly.
Those are always gnarly ones, aren't they? They go in the brain.
But yeah, and then they were just sort of pissing about for a while, weren't they?
Yeah, lots of running, lots of chasing, and then they went to the school, didn't they? Was that
well, they went to the woods first. I quite like that bit when they were like, "Well, what if we just put the bones back?"
Yeah,
and I was like,
"It's a nice idea."
Yeah, I'm like it's something they don't usually explore in horror films because they disturb them and then they just fuck off or they keep them or whatever. And then it's at the very end when they're like, "Oh, we'll try and put it back," and then it's like, it works. Whereas this, they were like, "Oh well, let's just go try it, find out, see what happens." And then it was like, "Yep, this ain't gonna work." And then they were, how do they keep getting into these places and breaking into stuff? You know? Oh yeah, and there's that bit where they go to the police station and then the main girl steals the cop's gun.
Yeah.
And then fires off 3 rounds in that zombie girl. Like quick succession. I'm like, it was a revolver. That's usually like a bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Not like, boom.
Yeah.
But that was like shot, chest, head. I was like, fucking, you're a child. How have you managed that?
Yeah,
like,
why do you know how to shoot a gun?
Yeah. But then they never used the gun again.
Yeah, she just threw it down on the floor.
Yeah. But then
I was like, why are you throwing the gun away?
But also, how can you hear 3 gunshots and no one come running?
Yeah.
No one comes at all. Not even the policeman who had his gun stolen. Or maybe he heard it and was like, I'm not getting out. I've got my gun.
In the middle of a street as well. Like, there must have been people around.
And then, they just... What? Why is it horror films? They always go back to school. Like, fuck that shit.
You know, it reminded me of what was that one we watched with the camera?
Polaroid.
Is that what it was called?
The one on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
obviously...
It was
like, let's go back to school.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, stop it.
I think because schools have, like, big, long corridors and there's opportunities for running and chasing.
Scaring and it's always dark.
And then you, like, go in a room and then you're like, oh, no, like,
it's safe.
That's the only exit. Like, yeah.
I quite like
it's a hot spot for
the kind of twist thing where they're like, oh, they're just after you, babes. Like, they just want your blood. And then they were like, all right, well, let's think of they were a good bunch.
Draw them in.
Yeah.
Use her as bait.
I liked her little brother as well. Her little brother, I think, was the best character.
I think so, yeah.
The stoner dude just pissed me off. He also hammered home that it was a fucking 90s film. He was like, oh, I've got a baggy t-shirt. Oh, you better believe I've got my baggy jeans on. You know what goes well with these baggy jeans? A fucking wallet chain.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, then you better believe I've got some black nail varnish on. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because he was a bit of a dick, really. I'm like, if she's supposed to be your friend, Dina, the main girl, then why are you being such an ass to her little brother? Like, be nicer.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, he fucking, he is a bit of a nerd, but he's also helping you out. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I quite liked him. He was good. I thought he was probably the best character.
Yeah, I think so too.
Pardon me. What was the cheerleader friend called? Kate.
Kate, yeah.
The drug pusher.
Yeah.
Also, that little callback that I just wasn't expecting either. I suppose we'll cover that. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But when they were at the school and then they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll just fucking paint blood all through the corridors."
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Okay then.
And then the weird forced sex scenes I weren't really a fan of.
Yeah, that was a bit
like
so unnecessary.
Like, I get there is a time and a place, and tis not now.
It's not now.
Especially when, you know what I said to you when they were like, "Oh, you can't get any of her blood on you," and then those two went and had their moment. I thought she was going to be like on her period or something.
I see.
And then she wasn't going to be able to get it off her or something. Right. You know what I mean? Or something.
I didn't.
Like, I was like...
Because you didn't actually like get to say what
it's because I was like, well, I don't want to say this, and then it happened.
Yeah.
But... yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen, because that would have been weird.
That would have been so gross.
But that's the way I thought it was going, and I was like, please no. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, but they had their moment, didn't they? Just a lot of boob grabbing and ass grabbing. It wasn't even really ass grabbing, was it? It was just...
not really.
Just booby grabs.
Booby grabs, lots of kissing.
Yeah. And then a little brother and a cheerleader mate. He must be only like a year younger.
Yeah.
Must be.
Otherwise, that's weird. And I was going to say I didn't really like that they put those two together. Because like you always get the classic of, oh yeah, like the younger brother fancies like the sister's friend.
Yeah, and nothing ever happens with it, which is fine, because it never should. Because it's weird.
It's normally like a few years difference.
Yeah.
So if it was a few years difference, then that was weird.
But I guess because he was quite capable, wasn't he? He wasn't like an annoying younger brother. No. He was like. He was just like...
I feel like he was like 14 or 15.
Yeah, and she must have been like 16.
16, 17 maybe.
But at most.
Yeah.
But
I also love how, going back to them, like, the little sex scenes, and then they're like turning around like, oh, what was that? And it's like, well, you know that people are coming after her.
Yeah, your whole point is that you need to wash each other, you need to wash her blood.
Yeah, like, why
also,
are you
how much blood do they think was on them? Like, when they're like, oh, well, we need to all strip down to our pants.
Yeah.
Why? Blood isn't fucking acid. It's not going to burn through your clothes. Yeah. Chill out.
It's not like skin particles. Like, you literally saw it was on your shoe and it was on your t-shirt. Like, just change those.
Yeah. Also, bro, you've been wearing your fucking t-shirt for like 3 days. Like,
please change it anyways.
Yeah.
Just took it off and put it back on again. Like, what
dirty boy.
So gross.
And then...
so gross.
I knew it wasn't going to happen. I knew it was going to work.
Of course it wasn't going to work.
I was like, I quite liked the idea, though. You know, lure them all in. Yeah. Why have they got access to fucking dummies?
Yeah, why is that a thing in a school? I don't know if they teach like CPR.
Yeah, maybe. Well, apparently they fucking don't, because you give her about 20 fucking adrenaline.
Or they do like swimming and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like life-saving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, as soon as they lit that fire, I was like, no, we've got too much time left. There's no chance that's going to blow them all up.
I do like, though, because in most films, they'll be like, oh, yeah, like, this is how we do it. And then they'll do it, and then it's fixed and it's fine. They'll do, like, the first attempt at fixing it.
Yeah.
And it'll work.
That'll be the end. This, at least, it took them a few attempts to figure it out. And I was like, fair enough.
They were like, how the fuck did we do this?
They tried the most logical, and then they tried the one where it was like, if this was any other film, it would have worked. And then it was like, oh, fuck, how are we going to do this?
Yeah, because
even to the point where they were going to sacrifice her.
Yeah.
I quite liked the... well, I didn't like, but I liked the sack man. Because Skullface didn't really bother me. I was like, you're just a cheap rip-off. Like, to the point where you're still falling over as if you're Ghostface. Because I swear Ghostface got beat up in the first Scream.
Yeah.
Like, he fell into so much stuff, which I quite like because, I mean, obviously that was the point, wasn't it? Because obviously you've got your Freddys, your Jasons, your Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Who are like these big fucking massive dudes who are just unstoppable. Ghostface is just some dude who just like he falls over, falls through glass, and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, you know, I like that sort of stuff.
Bit of a clumsy boy.
Yeah, and
it's not as threatening, I think, because they're also like because they're just wearing a black cloak. They're not as like human.
But then they're also like they're not as menacing, but then they kind of are because they're just even more wild. You know, because it's like, well, they can't get through, but they might.
Yeah.
Because it's like, am I safe? Because with the others, you're like, I know I'm not safe. I'm fucked. Whereas like with him, you're like, I might be safe.
When they just kind of.
But is there a window?
Yeah.
Because if there's a window, I'm probably fucked.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you were in like a vault, you know that Michael Myers would somehow get in. Whereas like Ghostface, he's not a safe cracker. He wouldn't get in. He's not mega strong.
No.
Give him a feeble door. you better believe he's coming through that.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And the way he just stands and looks at you as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking creepy.
But I liked how it wasn't just Skullface. I feel like the girl just sort of came out of nowhere. The Slashy McGee girl.
Yeah.
I didn't find her particularly scary because she was just there, you know. Because at least Skullface, he was there. I don't know if maybe. Have you seen Hot Fuzz? You know, when it's like, oh well, we're all in on it and we're all killers. I don't know if Skullface had been the kid from the start who got shot in the head, and then they'd revealed it again, and then it was her, and they were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then it was like, "Oh, I'm the girl from the 50s or whatever it was, 60s."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So because she just sort of appeared, and I know they sort of mentioned it in a throwaway line, and then he was like, "Oh, it's her. Fuck." Oh yeah, okay. I think I'm getting confused because I thought he mentioned her at the start, but he didn't, did he? I think he mentioned her at the start, and then he mentioned her again.
Yeah.
You know, after they unmasked, and then they went and spoke to the younger brother. And he was like, oh, that girl is this girl, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, actually, it's all linked.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I take that back.
Yeah.
But I just didn't find her as menacing. I think it was because, you know, obviously you had Skullface throughout the whole beginning bit.
Yeah.
And then you had the big axe, the sack man.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he was in it more than she was. Because obviously there was the bit in the woods where he turned up.
Yeah.
And then he was the more threatening. Because he followed them in the school. And I was like, well, why aren't all three of you following him? But then I don't know if he was the only one who came back when he did. Do you know what I mean? Because she was in the street and then she was there at the end and that was it. Whereas the sack bloke, he was a lot more.
But she was in the school as well.
Well, yeah, but she blew up. That was it. So you got Sackman, who was in it more than she was.
Do you think? I thought they were in it quite similar.
Nah.
Because obviously he had the bit in the woods and then she had the bit in the street. And then they both had the bit together in the school. And then they both came back at the end in the store.
Well, yeah, but she didn't have a big bit in the school. She just walked along and cut off the banner, and that was it. But then he was there. The Sackman was legging it through the school at the first place, and then he got blown up, and then he came up back, and then he was cutting through the door, and then he was there at the end. Yeah. You know, whereas she was just like, ooh, I'm here singing the song. Ooh. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know. It felt like if you just cut out some of that shit at the beginning. Some of the bits where there wasn't any killings. And maybe introduced her then. Do you know what I mean? And had like that sort of intrigue of like, ooh, Skull, like, I don't know. Just maybe just introduce them a bit more rather than just, here's another one. You know? Yeah. I guess they were just trying to be like, she's fucking relentless, man. These killers are coming for... She's relentless, but she can only send 3 at a time. That damn bitch. Well, you can't have too many. That would have been 2. That would have been too much. Then they would have died. But then I like how in the trailer for the next one, it was like, okay, well, we saw some of the other people that you'd already talked about. From this one, and then other ones as well that, the bashy head bloke, and I was like, oh, God. But... yeah, I guess... Sackman's there again, isn't he? Yeah, I guess it'll... I just didn't get why he... Oh, no, I think I did. Because I was going to say I don't get why Skullface got... like, why he got possessed. I think it was the tree, wasn't it? Because, you know, in the mall... and they were like... They had that image of the tree, didn't they? And I said to you, I was like, it's the tree. It's the haunted tree. Yeah. So I'm guessing that... tree might have something to do. I don't know, trees and all sorts of shit's got some. You watch that witch's base will be like under the mall, you know, like Stranger Things. Yeah, it'll be like buried on it and buried underneath it. But yeah, so they went to the school, and then what did they do? That was about it, wasn't it? And then they went to the supermarket. And then they went to the store. Yeah, I think that was the bit that I was going to say, the little callback, you know, when at the beginning, the cheerleaders, like, oh, and they're like, oh, you're selling drugs again. And she was like, oh, well, yeah, but that guy only OD'd partially a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, hey, you remember that single line of dialogue about this guy ODing? Yeah. Well, we figured out how to save him. And I was like, oh, you're pushing. Because I was like, you're in an ambulance.
Yeah.
Probably with a defibrillator. Just use that.
Like, could you not use something in the ambulance that you have? Like
actual adrenaline.
Yeah.
I was like, you have quite a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
Like, I get,
it's very true.
I get them going there to get the drugs to make her OD.
Mm.
By all means.
But again, could they not have found something in the ambulance to OD with?
Yeah, I guess maybe because they knew the drugs.
Yeah.
That killed him.
And they knew what to do with each one and how each one would affect her.
Yeah. Also, how do you know how much to kill someone? It's a bit weird. Like, they knew exactly the amount that his cousin... Was it his cousin or his brother took?
I think he said his brother.
Like, the exact amount that he took.
Maybe he was there with him and he saw him do it. But the number of pills that they were piling up, I was
Good God.
I was like, I feel like one pile would be enough to kill you.
Surely, like...
Not 4.
Like, okay, I get it. You're obviously like, oh... Do them all in one then.
Yeah.
If you're going to... You haven't got a lot of time.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we'll take this, but wait 5 minutes, because then it'll kill...
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah, we want you to die, and then we'll just bring you back. I mean, maybe they just thought, well, he died and he came back, and then he was all right. We don't want to like fuck you up completely.
Yeah,
we don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you're like fucking brain dead or something. I don't know.
Like, we'll do it exactly. The way that we know. Kind of thing.
But you're in an ambulance. Just use the ambulance stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, you can lie down on a bed. You can force feed her the drugs.
You can strap her down.
Yeah.
Like...
And you can drive around. They're on their feet. They're not going to catch you.
Exactly. See, dumb people, dumb kids.
But then I feel like a mall, grocery store. I feel like that's another classic slasher horror sort of thing, isn't it?
I love a good.
But it was also a bit like Final Destination, wasn't it? I thought, and they're like, "Oh, Death is trying to kill you, so we're gonna kill you, so Death can't kill you.
Yeah,
and we're gonna bring you back." I was like, all right,
yeah,
fine. So she's really adding on all the different types of horror films that you're ripping off here now.
Yeah,
but yeah, and then oh god, when she got put in that bread cutter.
Don't.
Oh,
I'm so annoyed.
Why?
Because I actually liked her.
Oh right, yeah.
I was like, I'm fuming.
I was shook when that happened. Because I was like, they're
really going to kill her off? I was like, nah, surely not. I thought, someone will come and save her.
I thought it would be, they drown her at the right time. So obviously she got stabbed, but she'll recover.
Yeah.
And then he'll disappear or do whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting her to get put through the bread cutter.
That was fucking gnarly.
Oh my god, that was horrific.
Gnarly. Jeez Louise. And then when they showed it again, like her brain was just
porridge on the side, wasn't it? I was like,
God. And then you couldn't even relish in the kid being sad because then bloody Peter gets his head chopped.
Oh my god. I was
axed.
I was a bit like, oh, you'd kind of just about made a U-turn, but I still didn't really like you.
Yeah.
So I don't care that much.
No, but it's the fact that I was like, I want to be sad about her being dead right now.
Yeah.
And then it just got trampled on with him like being murdered.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I'm shocked, I'm surprised, I didn't want her to die. And then it was like, oh, he died.
I was so, okay. I was sat there with my mouth open like, I can't believe that's just happened.
Yeah, that's a double whammy, very quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, when she's fucking drowning salmon, I'm like, why isn't this bitch dead yet? Like,
I've never known someone who is willing to die, so to speak, takes so long to drown, whilst also drugged out of her fucking mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, she could barely fucking stand up.
No.
I don't think she'd be able to put that much of a fight.
No, definitely not. And then that moment as well when her brother was about to be stabbed and she's just looking at him and I'm like, are you like, hun, are you really not going to save your own brother?
I would have been like, at that point, I would have fucking
bitch.
got a brick and smashed her in the back of the head. Yeah. Like, right, okay, fine.
It's time for you to die now.
Yeah, like okay, yeah, it's, well, girlfriend who I'm a bit in a toxic relationship with,
Yeah.
or my brother, or I'll just try and drown her for a couple of seconds more.
Yeah. That's why she was a terrible main character.
Yeah, it wasn't a
The
fan.
morals were all off.
But yeah, and then sequel bait.
Oh yeah.
I just knew, because I was like, I just don't really like how they sort of explained it away. How obviously, I'm guessing, I'm gonna have a stab in the dark and guess the ginger girl from Stranger Things is gonna be the main girl in it.
Do you think? Yeah.
Because I feel like she's.
Yeah.
When I say too big a name, I use that word loosely. I use that phrase loosely.
I mean, yeah, we say that because the other girl from Stranger Things in this one, Heather, that died at the beginning, I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, yeah, no, it could be
a bit of a.
Yeah, it could be a little switcheroo because I swear there was in the trailer it looked like she got stabbed. So maybe.
I can't really remember the trailer, to be honest.
Yeah.
I only watched it once, whenever you showed it to me.
It was just at the end there.
Oh, I thought you meant.
Oh no.
The trailer for the one we've just watched.
Oh no! I
meant. You mean the trailer for the
yeah.
next one?
Sorry, yeah.
Right, I'm with. Yeah, it does. Look
and you were like, "Oh, I haven't watched it for." I was like, "That's like 20 minutes ago."
Oh no, I thought you meant from the first one, but no, you mean thingy.
But yeah,
the ginger kid. It did look like she got stabbed. To be fair.
Yeah,
then,
maybe that's the intro.
Apparently, being stabbed doesn't mean shit in this world.
Oh yeah,
it does, but also doesn't.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you can get stabbed and then run away and be absolutely fine, but then other times, like bloody, what's his name, Peter? No,
To be fair, that went straight through him though. All the others were like gashes. Oh no, because at the end,
his name was Peter. Then who? What was their friend's name?
Stoner guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
I thought his name was Peter.
I didn't really care for him.
I don't think it was. Who was it?
I don't know. John. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking. I don't know, what's the stoner name? Fuck it. Like, oh, hey, Brett. Yeah, Brett's a fucking stoner name.
He was literally, he like wrote it out at the end, didn't he? When his chat friend was like, "Oh, did you hear it was the druggy kids, blah blah, and Kate." Was it Brian?
Was it Brian?
Was it Brian?
Probably was Brian.
I just got Brian on the brain
from Fast and Furious. Brian. But yeah, as soon as it was like, yeah, I just wasn't a fan of how sequel baity it was when it was like, oh, but she survived, and I'm like, okay, well, whenever we see this person, we know they survived, so there's no, I'm not going to be on edge, you know?
Right, I see what you mean.
I'm not going to be like, classic prequel sort of stuff, when you're just like I know you're fine, so, like, why are you, like this Han Solo thing, when they're like, oh, we might not make it, so, but you do, because we've got another, like, 7 films with you in, like, it's fine, like...
Or, like, Black Panther.
Oh yeah, when it was like, we're before Black Panther, we're going to show Infinity War with Black Panther in it. And then he gets thrown off a cliff. Like, no, I think he might be okay though.
He's dead. Oh, what do you mean? He's due to be in Infinity War.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think he's going to suffer from that. So I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh, I don't really care. And I'll be like, oh, she dies. Oh, she comes back. Oh, shock horror. How would I ever have guessed that plot point?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, there's got to be something more to it.
Something more. Yeah,
because they can't do the same thing again.
I feel like part 3 is going to be where it obviously ties the two together.
Yeah, that's going to be where
they figure out how to stop it.
Yeah.
But I think this second one is just an excuse to do what they've just done in the first one.
But for 70s films, like Texas Chainsaw and your original Friday the 13th sort of shit, innit?
Yeah, the camp with,
Yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It wasn't scary. But some questionable characters.
Yeah.
More ones that I wasn't a fan of than I was a fan of. Which is quite tricky in a horror film, because you want
to be rooting for them, don't you?
For your main characters, you want them to
do well, and I was like, I don't like you much.
Yeah. So when she got stabbed, I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah.
She can die.
Yeah. I did think, I was like, I know my horror films too well. I was like, that shit just didn't go away like that.
No.
I mean, it was a very intense way for it to sort of wrap up. So I was like, if it does end, it will end. But then I was like, they're not just going to do a flashback to the 70s for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a twist. And then, I didn't really get... You know what I didn't get? No, I've already talked about it, haven't I? You know why the Moore kid ended up being Skullface. Because
Over the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Or maybe...
Because then, why did she pick? Because why did she... Because they said, oh, did you touch the bones? So maybe he touched the bones of the witch?
Point, yeah. Yeah. What
It
was
must
his
have been
name?
Pete? It was something Rogers, wasn't it? Rogers? Steve? No, that's Captain America.
But yeah, because he was obviously... He was alive and fine, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then...
He just all of a sudden turned, didn't he?
And then, he was Skullface. And then he'd stabbed her and she unmasked him.
But he looked dead already, didn't he?
He looked dead, yeah. So I don't know if...
But then again, so did...
He got.
Sam at the end, when she was... How long was that phone call, by the way?
Yeah.
To type a whole person.
Wrap it round.
While stabbed as well.
Like a fucking Christmas tree. Yeah, exactly. See, like...
To be fair, it was a teeny tiny... But then again, it was a broken, pencil or whatever it was. Splinters and shit.
It looked like a dagger, or it looked like a bone, or
maybe she snapped her finger off and stabbed her with that.
No, it was quite like a stake.
Because there was something, when they're doing that pan around the room, where it was like eagle, like the top down look.
Yeah,
and they
bedside table.
Yeah, and there was something on there that was long and pointy.
Was there?
I don't know. I was like. Because I remember looking at it and being like, what the fuck is that?
Wasn't it her drumstick?
Her drumstick!
Didn't she snap them or something?
Oh, I don't know.
And it was earlier on in the film. I think she broke her drumstick.
Probably.
And that's what it was.
She was so fucking angsty.
It was the drumstick.
Right, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, that probably wouldn't kill you, to be fair.
Fucking hurt though, splinters and shit.
Yeah.
Oof, I'd hurt way more than a knife.
That would really hurt.
No, maybe not more than
pull it back out again.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll watch the next one.
I mean, we might as well watch. I mean, we're going to watch all three.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the third one could be a scary one. But again, we kind of already know because what was it, the judge or the priest or whatever? And he was like, oh, he went around and pulled kids' eyes out or whatever. And it's like, oh, well, as soon as I see a fucking priest, I know who to keep an eye out for, don't I? And there's like, oh, is there going to be a witch? Oh, well, I better watch her fucking cut a hand off then.
Yeah.
It was almost like there was too much. Do you know what I mean?
Too much info.
It felt like if you're going to do this sort of thing, what you should have done is have this one and they uncover some of the secrets from 77.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. And then you have them go speak to the people from 77 as an adult. So the 94 people go to speak to the kids from 77, but obviously all grown up. And then the 77 people say, oh, well, what we discovered about the witch was XYZ.
Yeah.
But it didn't work for whatever reason. Or whatever, I don't know. And then they go, but we don't really know. And then they're going to go, 400 years ago. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a big time shift, isn't it?
It is a big time shift. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah, I enjoyed it though. I thought it was good. Good fun.
Yeah, it was.
You changed your tune because you went, oh, I was enjoying it, and then now you've just gone, no.
It was alright.
Yeah, it was. It's just they bloody love cashing in on nostalgia and shit, don't they?
Yeah. I don't know if it's because we watched it fresh off the back of Freaky.
Yeah.
That I'm a bit like
slash it out.
It was alright, kind of thing. Maybe if I hadn't seen that and I'd just gone straight into this, I would have.
Yeah. I don't know which one I preferred more. I'd see. To me, I think they're both on the same sort of level. Like they're both fine. They're both inspired by certain source material.
Yeah.
They've both got different twists and takes on it. But I know what you mean because they're extremely similar with their sort of like premise and stuff.
I think
and what they're inspired by, it's very like.
Yeah, I think Freaky took the edge for me because it was funny and it made me laugh. But that was the point of it, though.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be like a parody kind of.
Yeah.
Whereas this was a different kind of. It wasn't really a parody, was it? It was more of an inspired by imitation.
Because it kind of felt like it should have been like a teeny film. Like it felt like it should have been a 15.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then I guess because it's on Netflix, what is even the point of having an 18 on Netflix?
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because anyone can watch
Doesn't
it.
matter really,
like, because you know that sort of. Because I feel like I can imagine loving both of these when I was like. Because, you know, obviously Freaky, you go to the cinema and see it with your mates and you're like, oh my God, we're still growing up. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, you know, if you stayed over at your mates, you had a night of drinking watching this.
Yeah.
While someone's parents out and you'd be like, oh, mate, that was so good. Oh my God, it's so scary, whatever. Oh my God, it's so violent. Oh my God, we're still growing up. Like,
Yeah.
And you're like, you're not, so shut up. But it felt like they're both going after the same audience. But because that was an 18... But then again, like I said, it just doesn't matter that it's an 18 because it's on Netflix. Anyone can watch it. Like,
I think I just wanted that to be a bit scarier.
Yeah.
Even just a tiny little bit scarier.
I think that's the thing, though. Like I said, I don't know if because I don't find slasher films scary, and I don't know if maybe that's why. Because I didn't find Freaky Friday. I didn't find Freaky scary, and obviously it wasn't meant to. I didn't find that scary, but I don't really find Scream scary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like they're channeling that sort of vibe where it's like it's not actually scary. It's like plays. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like if they did the 70s one right, then that could be scary because that's like your classic. But then again, the first Friday the 13th is dog shite, isn't it?
It is dog shite, but
Halloween is scary. So if they did it more like Halloween, because that was not like Halloween at all.
No.
Like, that was... Yeah. So I feel like that one... So I feel like the second... Part 2... And I feel like the third one could be quite scary.
Yeah.
So I feel like the third one...
would be a bit more...
supernatural and like see more horrific stuff. Because that was very 90s-esque.
Yeah.
Was it? I know, obviously that was the point. Not to carry on beating a dead horse. But like the 90s was like the point where it stopped being as scary and it was more sort of violent.
Yeah.
I think fucking blame Wes Craven for that shit.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, you start... Because you think about like, you know, Friday 13th, that was just like his mum in the first one, wasn't it? Just getting like accurate and like shooting arrows at people in the dark, and then that was it, they died. Compared to like Jason when he was like, I think he's in... there's one of them where he like freezes someone to death and then like punches their head off or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That just sort of like ridiculously over the top violence sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it sort of started with Nightmare on Elm Street when claws old Johnny Depp through the bed and it's all blood everywhere and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like the 90s is where they sort of perfected that sort of stuff. But like made it a bit more real. And I fucking love stabbing people in the 90s, didn't they?
Yeah.
Bloody love it, mate.
Love a good stabbing. Stab.
But, yeah. Yeah, it felt this. You know what it is? This felt like a film because you know in Scream they have that film about Scream. I think it's called Stab.
Yeah.
This felt like that film in Scream.
The film that would be in
Scream,
film.
where it's like as if it was weird. It felt like we knew all the tropes and stuff that were going to happen, as if we were watching it in Scream.
Yeah.
As weird, as ridiculous meta as that sounded. But yeah, no. It was fine. I'm hoping more scares in the next two, but we shall see.
And there it was, our driving home review. Very interesting. Was it controversial? Possibly. This is pre-recorded, so deal with it. Anyway, thanks for listening. And if you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Insta, Twitter, or give us a like on Facebook, where we're Driving Home Reviews. It'd be great if you could subscribe and leave a nice juicy 5-star review, and maybe I'll buy you a pint. Is this bribery? Probably. But tune in next time for another Driving Home review. Bye bye!